Today we'll be covering episode 24 of season 3 of Monsters, The Moving Finger, which is the very last episode of Monsters ever released. And I do have to say, this series really does end on a high note. In fact, the last couple episodes have all been really good, and it's really unfortunate that this did not get 4 seasons. But we have 3 seasons and 72 episodes. Not too bad for a series that is quite low budget and seems like didn't do that great in the ratings. And I think it's a really great series, even better than some of the more popular ones, like Tales from the Dark Side. This episode is based on a Stephen King short story called The Moving Finger, which was published in December of 1990 in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction, but most people read it 3 years later in 1993 with his collection, Nightmares and Dreamscapes. Stephen King's novels are good, but I actually think his short stories are even better. He really has so many creative ideas, and I wish they had developed a few more. But we do get this one, and it's very Stephen King-ish. It's simple, but also very visceral, and this is the bloodiest episode of Monsters. It's almost like the producers are giving a middle finger to the TV censors, probably because they're about to get canceled, so they just decided to go completely buck wild, and I think it's really good. This episode revolves around a man named Howard, and this is essentially a one-man show. He does have a wife that goes out for ice cream, and immediately the action starts. He's watching quiz shows and getting the answers right. Apparently he's a big quiz show aficionado. And Stephen King does what he does best, which is making the impossible seem possible. In this case, there's an extremely long, decrepit finger that comes out of his sink, and he begins battling it throughout the entire episode. That's kind of it. I mean, this is the same man that wrote the short story Rainy Season, where killer frogs fall from the sky, and he actually makes it seem believable. Pretty impressive. In the original Stephen King short story, Howard has an internal monologue with himself as he's battling this moving finger. But in this episode, he doesn't talk to himself, and they don't even do like a voiceover of an internal monologue. So there's kind of a lot of dead air. They fill it with kind of creepy music, similar to the music they used in the episode Malcolm. It's a single wind instrument that plays a few notes, then kind of stops, then holds a note, then kind of stops. It's actually pretty effective, but I actually think they should have included the internal monologue since it's pretty much Howard just by himself the entire time. His wife comes back from buying ice cream, and we see she nags him a little bit.
Barely made it. Here, hang this up for me. Howard, you forgot to put the toilet seat down. Sometimes I think you want me to fall in and drown. My God, Howie!
What?
Half the towels are on the floor. What's going on?
Towels? That's it?
On the floor.
But she doesn't see the moving finger. She sees that the bathroom is dirty, the towels are on the floor, the toilet seat is up, absolutely unacceptable, apparently, but she doesn't see the moving finger. And we see Howard get crazier and crazier. Well, he looks crazier and crazier. And you can tell this is possibly a manifestation of maybe an unhappy marriage. And he's also kind of scared to go to the bathroom because, there's a moving finger that keeps coming up. Don't want to sit on the toilet when that happens. Howard then does something smart to get rid of the finger, which I'm not even sure if I should call it a finger. That's what he refers to it as. But it more looks like a snake, worm. Learn later in the episode that it is actually attached to a hand. But it's a finger that can extend, like a dulcimer.
You messed with the wrong Howard.
So, towards the strength of most leading brands, constraints in minutes, away from small pets, contact with eyes or fingers, flush with cold water, if swallowed, induce vomiting, and call physician immediately.
Lunch is served.
and he uses industrial strength Drano. This doesn't work, so he has to go to drastic measures. What's he go to? A hedge saw. Okay, that could work. In fact, it does work. And then we get the kind of crazy bloody scene. And basically for the rest of the episode, he is cutting up this finger, spewing blood everywhere with his crazy haircut.
Here, fingy. Drop by. Anytime.
Mr. Mitla?
Go right ahead. The problem's taken care of.
What problem is that, sir?
You know, there are 5 fingers on a hand. That's only one hand, mind you. Have you ever considered how many holes there are in the modern bathroom?
Would you put your hands out for me, sir?
There's a sink and a toilet and the overflows in the tub, and there's always another hole.
Whose blood is this, Mr. Mitla?
That's the fingers.
Whose finger?
It's a good question. You know, on second thought, I would reckon most strongly against using the toilet. If I were you, officer, I'd hold it as long as I possibly could.
What's in there, Mr. Mitla?
Well, I like game shows. But there's one question you know, they never ask. You know, all these terrible things, you know, like murder and robbery, you know, and fingers in the drain, happen to the nicest people. That's a bad idea.
And with that freeze frame, we get the end of Monsters. They really went out with a bang, didn't they? They went full dead alive lawnmower scene with this, didn't they? Well, I think this is a pretty good series, and I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. Not really too much to complain about. It's a simple story, but it's effective, and the lead character did a great job. I mean, he's doing the Jack Nicholson Shining character, where he acts kind of normal at the beginning, and then he gets crazier and crazier, especially with his hair. And he's already kind of an odd-looking guy to begin with, so he pulls this off really well. The character Howard was played by Tom Noonan, who we actually just saw in the Tales from the Dark Side episode I covered a few weeks ago called The Odds, as Bill Lacey. He also was in RoboCop 2 as Kane, House of the Devil, and his last acting credit was in 2018 for the show Animals. So that's the entire season of Monsters. We'll still be covering Tales from the Dark Side. We got a few seasons to go there. Fear Itself, Tales from the Crypt, Twilight Zone. We're doing them all. Check out our playlist where you can watch every single episode in order. Now that Monsters is finished, we also have one for Tales from the Dark Side and Fear Itself, which will be finished eventually. Here's a little montage of the Monsters episodes we went over. And I'll do a top 10 at some point.
I've been lost for so long. Shout